Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I'm Mike Egopadia. Here are our top stories. Tinubu embarks on two-nation mission for G20 AU-EU summit. Tension at Wadata Plaza as Wike convoy blocked. Trade remains Nigerian economic engine, Minister Oduwole. And on the foreign scene, Saudi Crown Prince breaks silence, calls Khashoggi murder a terrible mistake. And Iraq scatter UAE World Cup dream with late-minute penalty. Now to the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday departed Abuja for a two-nation walking summit to South Africa and Angola, where he's billed to attend the G20 or the 20th G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg and the 7th AU-EU Summit in Yaoundé. A statement by Special Advisor Information and Strategy, Bayo Ananuga, says President Tinubu will also hold a series of bilateral meetings aimed at advancing Nigerians' renewed hope agenda, especially on regional peace, security, and economic development. From South Africa, the president will proceed to Luanda for the AU-EU Summit, slated for November 24th to 25th. The gathering will bring together African and European leaders, innovators, and civil society groups to discuss joint priorities including digital transformation, infrastructure, and creative industries, manufacturing, and agribusiness. Tinubu will be accompanied by key cabinet members, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Finance, Social, or rather Solid Minerals, Trade and Investment, as well as Director General of the National Intelligence Agency. The president is expected to return to the country at the end of both engagements. The president's first stop will be Johannesburg for the G20 summit, hosted by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The meeting, holding from November 22nd to 23rd, will focus on solidity, equality, and sustainability, with world leaders expected to tackle global concerns ranging from economic growth and debt burden to climate change, critical minerals, and artificial intelligence. Nigeria has recorded another major victory in its campaign to recover stolen cultural heritage, as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today handed over 2 Bini or a bronze relief plaque, and a commemorative head to the Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy. In her remarks, the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy, Hinatu Musa, described the return as a historic moment for Nigeria and the people of Benin, adding that ongoing discussion with global institutions will pave the way for more artifacts to be returned. The Director General of the National Commission for Museum and Monuments, Olu Holloway, also commended the effort of all stakeholders, including His Royal Majesty Prince Erediawa, who championed the recovery process. Holloway said the return of the bronze represents a huge part of Nigerians' history and reinforces the country's long-standing fight for restitution of looted cultural objects. A historic handover was performed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the presence of 3 high chiefs representing the Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty Omonoba Uduakpolopolo, the Oba Areodoa II. The event was attended by senior officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Art and Culture, Tourism, and the NCMM, marking another step in Nigeria's push to reclaim its cultural identity on the global stage. The artifacts taken during the 1897 British invasion of the Benin Kingdom were recently repatriated from the Museum of Fine Art in Boston. The handover ceremony held in Abuja, where top government officials and representatives of the Benin Royal Court were present to witness the historic moment. Away from that, there were palpable tension at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja yesterday as the convoy of the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed and Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde reportedly obstructed the convoy of the Minister of the FCT Nyesom Wike from gaining entry into the headquarters. In video circulating on social media, security aides from both sides can be seen attempting to manage the situation as party officials hurry to de-escalate the tension. The incident occurred just as the PDP leadership convened to address ongoing dispute threatening party cohesion. While no official statement has been released by the involved parties, sources within the Secretariat said the confrontation reflects deeper political undercurrents within the opposition group. Normalcy was later restored and the convoy were eventually granted passage after intervention from senior security personnel. Eyewitnesses say the standoff, which lasted several minutes, heightened concern over a widening internal division within the party ahead of a crucial strategic meeting scheduled for the day. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has assured Nigerians that the National Assembly will embark on a comprehensive review of the Electoral Act 2022 to better reflect the nation's democratic aspiration. At Tuesday plenary, lawmakers also took a major step towards expanding political participation as the House passed for second reading a constitutional amendment bill seeking to reduce the age requirement for election into the Senate and the office of governor. The proposed amendments, according to its sponsors, aim to deepen inclusion and give young Nigerians a strong voice in governance. The bill has now been referred to the relevant committees for further legislative scrutiny before it returns for third reading and harmonization. The Speaker says the review of the Electoral Act and proposed age reduction will be handled with transparency, promising Nigerians a reform process that strengthens trust in the electoral system. Abbas gave the assurance while responding to an observation raised on the floor by Representative Ifeanyi Ozoku, who cited gaps in the current law and called for urgent amendment ahead of future elections. We need to go on a break now, but when we come back, more news across Nigeria, as well as business, foreign, and sport news. Join us again.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the line for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Nigerian Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said trade remains a central pillar of the country's economy despite ongoing reforms in the industrial and agricultural sector. Oduwole noted that the federal government is intensifying effort to boost export capacity, attract investment, and strengthen local production to reduce dependence on import. She ordered that improved trade policies, digital reforms, and stronger partnership with the private sector will further position Nigeria as a competitive player in regional and global markets. The minister emphasized that ongoing industrial expansion and agricultural productivity is expected to create jobs, enhance revenue, and ensure long-term economic stability.
In the trenches of trade facilitation here in Nigeria, and the protagonist of today's gathering, the Comptroller General, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, thank you for bringing us key AfCFTA stakeholders from over 28 countries is a central pillar of Nigeria's economic diversification and industrialization strategy. With a combined 48% of GDP, our industries and agriculture sector, from our much-loved consumer products to our pharmaceutical brands, to our commodities and agribusiness products, to the crucial role that petroleum plays in our foreign exchange earnings. The Nigerian economy is a trading economy, and trade in goods plays a significant role, a critical pathway to creating better jobs, building stronger businesses, driving diversified and sustained growth, and accelerating regional economic integration under the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. The FMITI is the anchor and spearhead of this ambition. At this important occasion, I am pleased to share some of our recent efforts, many original schedule of tariff concessions for trading goods under the AfCFTA. Since then, we have commenced implementation of preferential rates from goods made in Africa.
Speaking on Monday, the minister highlighted that industry and agriculture now account for 48% of Nigerian gross domestic product. A development, she says, underscores the critical role trade plays in sustaining national growth. Nigeria has earned global recognition as the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria received the prestigious International Standard on Accounting and Reporting honors from the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. In a statement released on Saturday, the FRC confirmed that the recognition was presented during the ISAR honors at the 42nd section of the United Nations Intergovernment Working Group of Experts in Geneva. The United Nations highlighted Nigerian progress in building a global aligned sustainability report framework, its multi-stakeholder adoption readiness working group, and the nationwide reform positioning sustainability disclosure at the center of the corporate governance. Dr. Olowo, who recently completed his tenure as chair for the first ISAR section, described the honors as proof of Nigerians' commitment to transparency, accountability, and responsible investment. A major milestone referred by the UN was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2024 endorsement of the National Roadmap for adopting the IFRS Sustainable Standard and the IFRS S1 and S2, advancing the country's pledge made at the COP27. Under Olowo's leadership, over 2,000 professionals were trained, while partnership with global development bodies, including German's GIZ, helped deepen sustainable finance capacity across Nigeria. The award places Nigeria as the only African country honored this year, following what the UN described as a transformative reform and strong leadership in sustaining reporting under FRS Chief Executive Dr. Rabiu Olowo. Away from that now, the foreign scene, Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman says the 2019 murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi was a grave and painful mistake, insisting Saudi Arabia has taken steps to ensure such an incident never happens again. At the Oval Office in Washington, cameras captured the two leaders exchanging warm greetings before addressing reporters. Trump, at 78, described Khashoggi as extremely controversial, while praising Prince Mohammed as a very good friend who has done an incredible job, including on human rights issues. The Crown Prince reiterated that the killing carried out by Saudi agent was never sanctioned by top leadership, emphasizing that Riyadh had implemented strong reforms since global outrage erupted in 2018. Khashoggi murder strained the Saudi relation with Western nations for years, following calls for accountability and transparency in the kingdom's security apparatus.
Is to destroy this. I feel painful about families of 9/11 in America, but we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden, he used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism.
The Crown Prince made the remarks during a meeting with the United States President Donald Trump at the White House, while Trump defended him, saying he knew nothing about the killing inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Talking sports, Iraq has ended the United Arab Emirates' hope of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, clinching a dramatic 2-1 victory in Basra on the Tuesday to advance to the Intercontinental Playoff. With the game locked at 1-1 deep into injury time, VAR awarded Iraq a penalty after a foul inside the box. Amar Al-Mari stepped up and calmly sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, sparking wild celebration among more than 65,000 fans at the Basra International Stadium. The tense encounter saw both sides push aggressively for a win, but Iraq's resilience paid off in the dying seconds. The victory sends Iraq forward to the Intercontinental Playoff, keeping their World Cup hopes burning, while the UAE campaign ends in heartbreak. The UAE, who were held a 0-0 draw in the first leg in Abu Dhabi on November 13th, needed an outright win to keep their campaign alive, but a stoppage time penalty turned the tides against them. Still talking on the world of sports, Italian side Lazio are now open to offers for Nigerian midfield Fasayo Dele Bashiru as uncertainty grows over his long-term future at the Serie A club. The midfielder, who recently returned to individual training after a hamstring injury, has featured in only 4 Serie A matches this season. Earlier in the campaign, he was dropped from the squad during Lazio's injury crisis to make room for Tamo Basic, with the Nicolo Rivaro, who headed for surgery. The club is weighing a temporary reinstatement. Football Italia reports that Lazio will listen to any credible offer, with journalist Alfredo Pelada noting that Dele Bashiru is not considered untouchable since joining from Hasterspor for 3.4 million euros last summer. The Nigerian has yet to regain the form that saw him shine in Turkey, where he contributed 8 goals and 3 assists. It's not the only potential departure. Sarri is also pushing for an exit from Rada Brasher's side and Tijani Noslin as the club looks to raise funds for new signing. Despite his return to training, Dele Bashiru's future in Rome remains uncertain, with the January window expected to determine the next phase of his career. This comes days just after manager Maurizio Sarri reported advised the club hierarchy to sell the 23-year-old who has struggled for game time due to injury setback and tactical decision. Now, with that sporting news, we've come to the end of the news on Atlantic. But do remember, if you have any newsworthy reports, we'll do well to send it to our different social media platforms and we'll have them read here. I still remain Mike Egopadia.